Okay, so this is a review that a few of you guys have been asking for a little while, and two guitars that are more similar than I was expecting. And so one is the Schecter Nick Johnston, and the other is the Sire Larry Carlton. This is the S7 Vintage, this is the traditional, so both single coil. And the biggest difference, oh, by the way, the Sire made this guitar for me, so like that's a bit of acknowledging biases and that sort of stuff, so just so you're aware of that, and I don't want to try and pull the wool over your eyes. I've bought a bunch of Sire guitars in the past though, and done obviously positive reviews of those, and hence Sire decided, oh yeah, we could send you a guitar. So this was sent to me, but I had already done very positive reviews of a bunch of their guitars before they did that. And I also did one negative one before they did that. So the main difference actually, and this can make the video nice and short for you if you want, is that the necks are, this Sire neck is 1.7mm thicker at this base part here. This one here I think is 21.7mm apparently, and this one is 20mm. Now that doesn't sound like much, but when you kind of eyeball it, I think you'd probably be able to tell that the Schecter is slightly thinner. The Schecter does go up to 22mm, I think, at the 12th fret. I'm not sure how deep the Sire one goes, but that's kind of, as far as I can tell, the biggest difference. I think even the trem hardware might be totally identical. The trem fits in both. This one has the vintage saddles, but the normal Sire does not have those. It has like these more generic kind of saddle styles. The other kind of big difference, I guess, would be the volume tone on the Sire and the volume tone on the Schecter. And this is a big difference on paper, but I'm quite surprised that I don't really feel the difference as much as I feel the neck thickness difference. The radius on the Sire is more in line with like a Fender style 9.5 inch, and the Schecter is a 14-inch radius, which is something like what you might get on an Ibanez RG, right? It's a flatter radius. That might be off-putting to some people, but I don't think it needs to be. That wouldn't be a factor that I'd make the choice on which guitar to buy on, because frankly it doesn't feel that different. The difference that I'd make the choice of, they've both got nice kind of size frets. I think that the neck on the Schecter with those inlays looks a bit prettier. The abalone, I think some people can think looks a bit cheap. The fretwork, I'd say, on the Schecter is a little bit more consistent, and I've done a video specifically about some of the Sire fretwork because they do the rolled fretboard edges. You can find kind of pictures and stuff, and I've seen this in real life, where they've been a bit overzealous on the edge of the frets, and that's not super what you're into as a guitarist. Both of them have a similar kind of thing going on the back here, although we've got this scoop out for access here on the Sire. So we've got like this angled neck join here on the Schecter. We got it angled and slanted on the Sire. Kind of basically the Sire, I think, is modelled really closely on a Sir. I'm not exactly sure what the Schecter is. And also, actually, this is a nice kind of feature, something like the Music Man having the truss rod adjustment here makes quick adjustment quite possible. You don't even have to have an Allen key, you just have something that you could shove in there. I think, yeah, like I say, the inlays I really like on the Schecter, not necessarily for everyone. I think headstock shape, clearly the Schecter wins. The other kind of main factor at the moment is Andertons are selling the Sires at the moment for $399, so that's nearly half as much as the Schecter. So the Schecter, I think, is about $700 at the moment, which is, you know, obviously £300 more than you could get a Sire for at the moment. So for that money, I'd say these guitars are super comparable in almost all features. Both got locking tuners as well. They both feel and sound great to play. I've never heard anyone say anything negative about the Schecter stuff online, which is surprising because normally you can find one or two people that found a bad example. Let me know in the comments if you've had a bad example or had any negative experience with them. The body is more contoured on the Schecter as well, a bit more comfortable. Sire's got slightly less kind of radius on those contours. But yes, both super guitars, both really great examples of what you can get coming out of Indonesia at the moment. Both cheaper than a PRS Silver Sky SE. Neither of them, I think, have the most Stratty sounding pickups in the world. They are single coil, but they have a bit more bass than kind of a typical Strat pickup. So I would kind of class them as somewhere between a Strat and a Super Strat, but certainly you can't go wrong with either, in my opinion. I think aesthetically, the Schecter might be the one that I am drawn to more. Playability wise, because of the slightly thicker neck, I think the Sire might be where I would go. And also for the price of $399 at the moment at Anderton's, I think that is a really, really good price for these instruments. Neither come with a case or hard case, so that's something you need to factor into the price as well. But yeah, two signature guitars that kind of look like a Strat, don't necessarily sound super Stratty, but I think are some examples of really fine guitars at this price range. Other stuff that you might want to look at, I guess, Harley Benton. People say a lot of good stuff about those. I don't know about how cheap those guitars are, whether there's some funny business going on that we probably don't really want to talk about. Schecter, £700 is certainly on the semi, I don't know, is that an affordable guitar? Semi-affordable, I'd say. You know, it's getting towards the range of a more mid-price instrument, but it plays really well. And as I say, I can't really find anyone being negative about them online, which is a rarity. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Neck is kind of your main differentiating factor. You've got 9.5 inch radius, 21.7 thickness, 20 mil with 14 inch radius. So the Schecter does feel a little bit smaller in the hand, and maybe a bit of a faster neck, but both guitars super, super quality. So let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know which you'd pick. Have you tried both? Have you tried either or? Are there other options that you'd consider that you think are a better guitar to buy than either of these in that kind of price range? I think used for a Schecter, you'd be looking at about the same price that you pay for the Sire. At the moment, you can get the Sire for $399, so I feel like that would be where I'd go probably. Some more playing now. So the tremolo test, I guess, 4 weddings and a dive bomb. So 3 dive bombs. That's holding tune pretty well, frankly. Not as good tuning wise. Science. The other thing I'm noticing is that this bridge pickup on the Sire is a little bit more trebly or a little bit less bassy than the Schecter. Aside from that, I think they're quite similar tone-wise, so I'm not sure there's anything tonal that you'd want to pick between them. Let me know in the comments if you think you heard significant differences. just to wrap up, I think you could be super happy with either of these guitars. This one you could get for $3.99 at the moment because it's on sale at Anderton's. This is a bit more expensive, but again, I think you get quite a very reasonable guitar for the money, and I think aesthetically they've made some great choices for me. Again, you might disagree with that. I think this neck plate is the only kind of negative maybe. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did you prefer either one? Did it sound like there was much going on? I think the fretwork as well on the Schecter is slightly, I think, more consistent.